Good morning. This is the last of our summer talks coming from St Mary's. As of next week, September the 8th, we will be recording our full 9:30 service for you again. But it's my privilege to give you the last of these thoughts. If you don't know who I am, I'm Katie, the vicar here at St Mary's. And our reading today is from the book of James, chapter 1, verses 17 to the end. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. He chose to give us birth through the word of truth, that we might be a kind of first fruits of all he created. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Therefore, get rid of all moral filth and the evil that is so prevalent, and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save you. Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. But whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard, but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do. Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. James, we can see, has a very practical approach that we would be good to remember. We're going to be looking at readings from James over the next 4 weeks, and we've called this little series Walk the Talk, because it's very important that we don't reduce our following Jesus to some kind of abstract concept. You might say, is this simply a thing that James is interested in? No, Romans 2 verse 13 says this: for it isn't the hearers of the law who are righteous before God, but the doers of the law who will be justified. And I think we know this. We know in our hearts that to follow Jesus is not just to agree with a set of precepts, not just to think that he was a very good person who did some good things, but to really be a disciple means that we must put his words, his commands into action in our lives. The world holds us to account on this. They'll say to us if we don't put things into action, well, that's not very Christian, is it? And I think that's quite a good thing, that we are held to account by others, to walk the talk, not just talk the talk. And as we see in this reading, and we'll see in other parts of James, there are some very practical suggestions. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. One of those memes popped up on my social media the other day. It said this: God gave you a mouth that could be shut and ears that couldn't. Think about it. We can choose not to speak evil words. The end of this verse says, keep a tight rein on your tongue. We can close our mouths. We can choose not to say those hurtful and difficult things. We can instead put into practice the good things God has asked us to do. Annually at St Mary's, we do something called the Rule of Life. It's just our way of walking the talk. If you're in church at 11 o'clock this morning, you'll be given one of these little cards. It's not homework. I'm not gathering it in. You don't even need to tell me what you put. But it's about putting our faith into action. And we ask each person to think about what actions they are going to commit to spend time with God, to serve others, to witness, to give, to grow in faith, and to care for creation. Even if you're not in church, this list is on our Facebook, on our website. You can find it. You can find this little list. And as we enter the new beginning of autumn, of the end of the summer, of new commitments, maybe new classes for some people, new school years, new teachers, new adventures, let us commit again, not just to be listeners of the word, but doers of the word. If the rule of life is helpful to you, do seek it out on our website, or maybe just spend some time personally in quiet prayer, listening to what you believe God is asking you to do to live out your faith, not merely read about it.